I want to tell you a beautiful story. This is a story of the laughing Buddha. The laughing Buddha. You have seen images of the laughing Buddha. He has this sack. He's carrying the sack, right? There are images all around Asia. The story is about him, and he's a common man, a man in a village. And of course, people like to gather things, they like to acquire things. So he decides he's going to carry an empty sack with him just in case he likes something he finds. No? So he starts carrying that empty sack, no problem at all. It's a good thing. A lot of us carry bags with ourselves, right? So the Buddha, the laughing Buddha, he's got this sack, empty sack, no problem, huge sack, he's free, he moves around. But as he's living his life, everything he likes, if he likes something here or he finds something on the road, he just picks it up, puts it in the sack. It's his now. He puts it in the sack, he forgets about it because he keeps walking, looking ahead. But the thing is in the sack. So guess what happens? Slowly, days, months, years pass, and his sack gets heavier and heavier and heavier. And still he continues to do that if he likes something, book, in the sack. And then eventually one day, he's struggling to walk. It's so difficult to walk. He gets tired fast. It's a struggle. He can't move fast. And he says, what's the problem here? Why is life so difficult? Why is life so difficult? Why can't I move forward? So he looks back. See, he's holding the sack, right? Why can't I move forward? He looks back and he sees the sack. And he says, oh, the sack is the problem. The sack is what is keeping me down. The sack is what's causing the struggle. Sack is causing the problem. But then suddenly his mind jumps one step ahead. And he realizes the sack is not the problem. The sack is just the sack, right? But who's holding the sack? It's him. He's holding the sack. So he says the holding is the problem. I'm holding the sack, that's the problem. That's why my life is so difficult. Actually, holding is also not the problem. His mind goes one step ahead. The holding is also not the problem because if I'm holding something, I can release it. What comes before holding the sack is a thought. So my thinking needs to change. And right there and then, he decides, I'm going to change my thought. I don't want to hold the sack. See, I must release the sack. As soon as he decides this, he opens his hands. And how long does it take for him to drop the sack? Instant. He releases the sack. He opens his hands, the sack falls down, he stands up straight. He feels so light and free. For the first time, he's sort of like standing up. And then he looks up at the sky, and the story says that's the moment he gets enlightened, because he suddenly realizes that all our suffering comes from what we hold on to. All our suffering arises from what we hold on to. And he laughs. He puts his hands up in the air like they're holding up the sky, and he laughs because he gets enlightened.